But what's your blood? The nation-state of the Jewish people. Let's not quibble. The message the Knesset was sending was simple. Arabs have no say in the matter. Israel is the state of all its citizens? Forget about it. The country was already behaving like an ethnocracy even before the vote. Netanyahu described in no uncertain terms what adopting the law meant. Israel is not a state of all its citizens. It is the nation-state of the Jewish people, and it alone. The first law of this sort was proposed in 2011. 7 years later, it was a done deal. On July 19, 2018, the Knesset adopted the law, officially writing into law segregation between the Jewish ethnic majority and everyone else, namely Palestinian Arabs, who make up 95% of the non-Jewish citizens of Israel. Until then, international opinion had focused on the apartheid that Israel was imposing on people in the occupied territories. But now, even Palestinians who are citizens of Israel, they are fully 20% of the population, are excluded from full citizenship. Overall, just what does this law imply? The country's 1948 Declaration of Independence says that the State of Israel will uphold the full social and political equality of all its citizens without distinction of race, creed, or sex. By contrast, the new law decrees that the right of self-determination is unique to Jews alone, and therefore denied to all non-Jews. To make things crystal clear, the very word equality of citizens was dropped from the law. Finally, whereas the Declaration of Independence says that Israel will promote the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants, the new law recognizes only the development of Jewish settlement as a national value and will encourage and promote its establishment and consolidation. The entire law passed with a small majority, 62 to 55. Ayelet Shaked, the Justice Minister at the time, clearly defined that spirit when she declared before the final vote, "Israel is a Jewish state. It isn't a state of all its nations. That is, equal rights to all citizens, but not equal national rights. There are places where the character of the State of Israel as a Jewish state must be maintained, and this sometimes comes at the expense of equality." To make sense of that gibberish, it helps to understand that since its founding, Israel has made a distinction between nationality and citizenship. A Jew was Jewish by nationality and Israeli by citizenship. A Palestinian could be Arab, Druze, or something else by nationality and be a citizen of Israel. Until the 1990s, nationality appeared on the ID cards Israel issued to its citizens. In this view, nationality is considered the equivalent of ethnic identity, and citizenship is the equivalent of juridical identity. By implication, the Jewish state is a state that belongs to its nationals, those born of the right ethnic group or nationality, Jews, but not to its citizens as a whole. The vision that this law embodies goes back a long way. It was rooted in original Zionism and heavily influenced by ethnic national movements in Eastern Europe. Naturally, it occurs in the Jewish nature of the first juridical texts relating to the State of Israel, which de facto assumed the predominance of Jews over other citizens. But it conflicted with the universalist aspirations that are also written in the state's basic laws. This ambivalence allowed Israel to present itself as democratic or even progressive, while still practicing discrimination. It has done so for more than 70 years, and its leaders have made good use of that ambiguity. But that is exactly what a majority of the Likud, along with its far-right allies, wanted to get away from. On another occasion, before the vote, Justice Minister Shaked carefully dotted the I's and crossed the T's. "There is a place to maintain a Jewish majority, even at the price of violation of rights of non-Jewish citizens," she said. To make sure no one mistook what she meant, she added, "Zionism should not, and I'm saying here that it will not, continue to bow its head to a system of individual rights interpreted in a universalist manner." Those pushing to establish the nation-state of the Jewish people are aiming squarely at the principle of universal and inalienable individual rights. Many voices were raised to protest passage of the law. Writing in Haaretz, the journalist Gideon Levy pretended to rejoice. Finally, he said, a law that tells the truth and will put an end to the farce of Israel being Jewish and democratic. Sounding bitterly amused, he said, all those years of hypocrisy were pleasant. It was nice to say that apartheid was only in South Africa, to say that Hebron is not apartheid, the Jordan Valley is not apartheid, and that the occupation really isn't part of the regime. It was nice to claim that since Israeli Arabs can vote, we are an egalitarian democracy. It was comfortable to ignore that the land owned by the Jewish National Fund, which includes most of the state's lands, were for Jews only. Now Israel is for Jews only, on the books. Israel's new friends will be proud of this law.